Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Construction Studies Foundation Detail series. In this video we're going to look at the solid concrete floor foundation, one of the most common floor types used in domestic construction. As always, I'll explain what it is, when it's used, its advantage and disadvantage, and then I'll show you how to draw it step by step using the animated PowerPoint. Our learning intention for this video is to describe and draw a solid concrete floor foundation in the scale 1:10, showing all key layers and components clearly and accurately. Our success criteria are to be able to identify the main layers of the solid concrete floor, explain when and why it's used, an advantage and disadvantage, and produce a neat, accurate 1:10 drawing of the detail. A solid concrete floor is a ground-supported floor, meaning it's built directly on top of a well-prepared ground inside the external walls of the building. It's made up of several layers, including the hardcore, damp-proof membrane, insulation, and a concrete slab, often finished with a screed or flooring material. One main advantage of a solid concrete floor is that it's strong, durable, and resistant to damp or vermin, making it ideal for floor construction in most houses. However, a disadvantage is that it can feel cold underfoot and difficult to access for services, as pipes and cables are usually buried below the concrete. So when is it typically used? They're typically used in domestic buildings with good ground conditions where the soil is dry and stable and where simple, low maintenance floor construction is suitable. As always, when you are drawing your detail, just make sure that you divide all the dimensions by 10. This foundation type is very similar to the standard strip foundation. We're going to start off with our reinforced concrete foundation, followed with at the start of our 350 cavity construction. You'll notice though on the internal part, the blocks are going to be laying horizontally, and there's going to be 6 of them in total. We're then going to fill in our infill with our concrete, and on the left side we're going to draw in the rest of the outside of the ground. On the right hand side we're going to complete our hardcore. It's going to be 150, 150, and then on top of that we're going to have our 40 blinding indicated by our dots here. Next we're going to complete our 350 cavity construction. So we've got our external leaf, cavity, insulation and internal leaf here. So 100, 50, 100, 100. On top of this we have got our 220 concrete subfloor, on top of which we have got our 30 insulation, and then we've also got our insulation here at 100 millimeters, and on top of this then we also have our 65 screed, and then on top we've got our 25 flooring. On the internal wall we have got our 12 render, and on the external wall we then have our 18 render then as well. Once that's finished, we have got our damp-proof membrane or our radon barrier to prevent radon gases from penetrating up into the dwelling. We have our damp-proof course, our DPC, to prevent capillary action, and we have our wall ties here to secure the external and internal leaf together. Once that's done, we're just going to label all of the components of the solid concrete floor foundation. When you have it drawn, this is how it should look on your page here. So you've got your traditional 350 cavity construction foundation here with your horizontal blocks, and then you've got your solid concrete floor just over on the right hand side here with your traditional 350 cavity construction. Be sure to label and annotate your drawing, and make sure to include your keywords then on the right hand side as well. Before we wrap up the video, let's do a recap. Our learning intention was to describe and draw a solid concrete floor foundation, and our success criteria were to identify the layers, explain when it's used, and draw it accurately to a scale of 1:10. We learned that a solid concrete floor is strong, durable and low maintenance, but they can be cold and difficult to access for repairs or services. They are commonly used in a domestic building on firm, dry ground. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.